welcome to the Think Tank today. I am your host, Vincent Fink, and we are going over Epstein's Art World Connections today as the newest tranche of Epstein files has hit the internet over the last week. All kinds of revelations are coming about. People are losing their shit over this because this is an actual real dump this time of actual info. There's still a lot of blackouts, but a lot of information. A lot of the conspiracy theories have been proved right at this point. This is actually quite a revelation. It's bombshell. I mean, if you haven't heard or looked into this yet, it's incredible. I mean, we've gotten confirmation that what we feared of, that the conspiracy theorists were labeled as nut jobs for saying for so many decades, it's all true. We are being run by an elite class of pedophiles, and they're covering for each other. And this drop is the first confirmation of that. I mean, it's proof. There's proof of it all over. Everything, all the worst things we thought and more. So on a lighter side of all the horrible child sex trafficking that's been going on, there's also this art world side that I'd like to touch on as an artist, as a contemporary artist of the day, because I find it relevant to us, as well as all the other things that this man had his hands in, literally. So looking here, though, again at art news, let's just run through this real quick. I mean, this one here, this is probably the most famous piece he had in his collection, and it's actually a pretty well done piece. I gotta hand it to the creator. This is Patrina Ryan Clyde's Parsing Bill painting. Parsing Bill. So I just love this one. While conspiracies related to Epstein's crimes proliferate, so too do wild theories surrounding art personally owned by him. No artwork has generated more attention than a painting by Patrina Ryan Clyde, featuring a smiling Bill Clinton wearing a dress and high heels. Titled Parsing Bill, the painting was just a silly artwork that was supposed to show pictorially the messages we are bombarded with in regards to these presidents, is what the artist is, quote, telling Art News. In a 2012 email unsealed in 2026, Epstein instructed his unnamed recipient to hang the work prominently, quote, so that people walking by can smile. So yeah, he's got an interesting taste. There's definitely a few other noteworthy pieces. Ben Davis, he's I guess a art dealer, kind of helped identify some of the pieces that are in Epstein's collection. Davis termed Epstein's collection, quote, janky, which is one adjective someone could use to describe much of Epstein's holdings, most of which are not particularly famous artists. Epstein's art ran the gamut from the provocative. His townhouse featured a large painting by George Alvarez called Coming of Age Ceremony from 1995, which depicts a young boy with an erection to the anodyne, which one unsealed document offering an itemized list of design objects that Epstein apparently owned, all worth well under $1 million. And just so you can see this piece that we're talking about here, I pulled it up. Here it is. There we go. As you can see, the young lad there is, yeah, he's quite I wish I could actually zoom in more. There is like a way to do that, I believe, but oh, here we go. How about the zoom button? Yeah. So, and this thing is actually life size. So that kid is life size. This thing's about 6 foot tall, this whole painting. Interesting, huh? It's actually well executed. Once again, I gotta admit, when I see an artist who took the time, there's detail photos where there you go. There's the measure there. So above 6 foot. Some good detail though. Not a slacky artist, not at all. Although, well, this is interesting to me. Actually, I love this site, mutualart.com, by the way, and I found that my art's on here. Wow, that's pretty cool that, when somebody puts you on a site like this. But this is very nicely done, very beautiful detail on the scales and everything. And then you notice this little puff at the bottom. I wouldn't have noticed this before had I not have seen the next image, this here, which is the back of the art piece. And if you notice, that little puff at the bottom was most likely this broke ass piece of wood in the framing. It's just mind blowing to me. I don't know how it got in this condition. If the art, it looks to me like the artist gave it to them in this condition. I mean, that doesn't look like that. It actually looks like a cut, not even a break in the wood. This actually looks like it's broke over here, but just kind of mind blowing to me that, this is the kind of craftsmanship that one can get away with as far as like presentation. Me as an artist, I've always had to really try to up my game in presentation, and just to see this, it makes me feel good about my presentation. Actually, I was a little worried about it with the piece I just sent off to Modern Eden Gallery because I'm so self-conscious, but after seeing this, I'm feeling really good about my framing, and yeah, we're good. But anyways, weird stuff, huh? Yeah. The mysteries of Epstein's collection resurface every time a new batch of files is released. In 2025, pictures of Epstein's Virgin Islands home were made public. People feasted on images of bizarre masks hung from his walls. The Brussels Times, meanwhile, did an investigation into a sculpture of an archer near the house's pool, blah, blah, blah. Modern artist Arthur Dupont. It was a copy of his work. Still, it is clear that Epstein held more than a passing interest in art. Pictures from files proved to the public that he strewn his house with art tombs, including a catalog for the Picasso sculpture. That was actually kind of surprising to me. The Museum of Modern Art blockbuster that featured an artwork he played a role in helping collector Leon Black purchase. Oh yeah, and so there's all these like art aficionados and collectors who are connected to Epstein too. So that's fun because now we don't know which ones are total dirtbags and which ones are legitimately just dealing in art and didn't know what they were getting into. You got former SVA chair David A. Ross. That is the former director of the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art. Numerous times in the tranched files. That just got released here in January of 2026. Based on this correspondence of documents, Epstein and Ross appeared to have been close. In 2015, Ross wrote to Epstein, "It is depressing to see how you're once again being dragged through the mud. I'm still proud to call you a friend." Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting the mud slung all over you because of my dirty dealings. So, I mean, this guy, Ross, he'd already been, leading the Whitney Museum, San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, leading institutions in there. It's creepy. It's really creepy. The two discussed a variety of matters, including topics ranging from Roman Polanski to Richard Prince's Spiritual America, 1983, a work that appropriates an infamous photograph of a nude 10-year-old Brooke Shields. Yep. Yeah. After Art News published news of Ross's appearance in the Epstein files, SVA promptly said Ross had resigned. Ross has not commented on his emails. So we also have the former French cultural minister Jack Lang. They got all these correspondence. Let's see here. What was he doing? Potential sale of a property in Morocco. Collector Leon Black, as mentioned before, this guy's tarnished pretty bad. I mean, and he even tried to say that he didn't have anything to do with it. Yeah, not good for this guy. When it was reported that Epstein remained a named director of the Leon Black Family Foundation, a charitable entity helmed by Black, a long-running art news top 200 collector, year after his controversial plea deal landed him in prison in 2008. Years after. Yeah, so, yeah, and then they tried to say, oh, he's not really on there. That was an error. That was a paperwork error. He got taken off. Sure. You know, Black tried to distance himself. He said, I had never done any business with Mr. Epstein at any time, any point in time. Yeah. Epstein provided financial advice to Black while he was CEO of Apollo. In 2021, a probe found that Black paid Epstein $158 million between 2012 and 2017. The results of that inquiry moved Black to resign from Apollo. Yeah, after you just lied to everybody. Black also left his position as chair of the Museum of Modern Art's board that year amid protests from artists. Though, as of 2026, he still remains a trustee, which means he still gets to control the money. So, y'all guys might have to keep pushing this piece of shit out. In 2023, Black agreed to pay the U.S. Virgin Islands, where Epstein owed a private island. When he owned a private island, Black agreed to pay them $62.5 million to settle all Epstein-related claims. The settlement noted Black was not accused of wrongdoing. The 2021 probe did not find any evidence that Black was involved in Epstein's sex crimes. In 2023, an autistic woman accused Black of raping her at Epstein's New York mansion while she was a minor. And he faced similar claims in 2022 from another woman who dropped her case in 2024. So, you know, it's kind of hard to say, some of these people, probably a lot of it's real, but, you know, there is always those people, right? There's always those opportunity seeking people who might just jump on a bandwagon to try to make some money. But whether or not those people were really abused or not, it's pretty obvious these guys are abusers, and they're disgusting, and they're all over the echelons of the art world, the higher echelons of the art world, and everything, you know, of our society. Just basically all the elites, the kind of people who have the money to collect art. Yeah. So this is the world we're living in as artists and collectors. Collector Steve Tisch. Let's see here. He was owner of the New York Giants, and also one of the U.S.'s top art collectors, Art News Top 200 collectors. Yeah. But they'd mainly just been talking about women, adult women, so, you know, he tried to distance himself from that. Collector Jean Pigozzi, kind of the same thing. Says he talked about girls and other things, you know, investments. Regrets it. Everybody's distancing themselves. Of course, nobody's saying how much they love the guy now. Artist Jeff Koons, that was kind of interesting. Not surprising, but interesting that while Epstein's direct communications with artists appear to have been limited, he did email with one art star, Jeff Koons. The Wall Street Journal revealed in 2023 that Epstein had sought a meeting with Koons. Documents unsealed in 2026 revealed that Epstein really did try to visit Koons' studio and with filmmaker Woody Allen. On 2013, one 2013 email also shows that Koons corresponded directly with Epstein's assistant, with the artist writing to say he would attend a dinner party held by Epstein. In a statement to Hyperallergenic, Koons confirmed that he had attended Epstein's dinner party, but he said he, quote, did not have a relationship, unquote, with Epstein beyond that. Moreover, Coons said he did not recall Epstein having visited his studio. That sucks when you're just like, yeah, I don't remember if that happened. Did this giant sex child ring, sex trafficker, creepy hedge fund, elite pedo dude come to my studio? Jeez, I can't remember. Excuse my mind. To his credit, us artists are very spaced out, especially when we're in our studios, and especially if you're on any kind of, drugs. It may be kind of hard to recall an event occurring at that time. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But he's probably a sleazebag too, just like collector Les Wexner, retail mogul, Wexner Center for Arts in Ohio State University, close relationship, and received financial advice from Epstein dating back to 89. And he said that Epstein misappropriated vast sums of his money, and he was very regretful of that. So, yeah. We might be ending it out here. No, there's another one. But there's artist Andre Serrano, the photographer best known for his 1987 work, Piss Christ. This is actually kind of a funny point here. There was an email with him, between him and Epstein, released files from just now. Actually from 2025. Showed, quote, I was prepared to vote against Trump for all the right reasons, but I'm so disgusted by the outrage over grab him by the pussy that I might give him my sympathy vote. Serrano wrote to Epstein ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Serrano added, I'm sure Bill C. said things too. To that email, Epstein responded, no good choice. How are you? Serrano, who shot a portrait of Epstein prior to his death by suicide in 2019, told Art News that he had, quote, forgotten emailing with Epstein, but apparently I said that. So he forgot it either. Or was I confusing these guys? Nope, that's funny. Yeah, both the artists do not recall. It's like, I'm going to say it, like they may not. And if they do, it's always a good fallback because we are absent-minded much of the time. That's pretty funny, though. Good to see at least there's a few artists out there still willing to speak their mind. The New York Academy of Art. Yeah, so then we just had other, it goes on. MIT Media Lab. Epstein donated some $800,000 over the course of 20 years to MIT Media Lab. They felt bad about taking his dirty money. Art dealer Leah Kleeman. New York Magazine named art dealer Leah Kleeman among the figures in an extensive list featured in a little black book that he kept of contacts, along with records charting relationships of different kinds. Kleeman, who has sold art and antiques from the Manhattan Art and Antiques Center, described negotiating prices with Epstein as, quote, something like a scene out of the movie Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. And in 2019, she told Bloomberg that Epstein, a client of hers for 25 years, wanted deals on work he hoped would make an impression on others. Quote, when he comes in, he is Jeffrey Epstein, and he is entitled to a discount. He is big into shock value, unquote. I love how, the most rich people always want a fucking fat discount. Like, fuck you. Seriously. Former Cooper Union Board Chair Mark Epstein. Okay, yeah, this is the final one here, and this is his brother, served as chairman of the board of Cooper Union, the renowned art college, College of Art, Architecture, and Engineering, New York City. School ended its free admission policy in 2014. That sucks. I wish I would have known about it before then. I would have gone. So, there's just Mark trying to get all the heat off of himself from his brother. He's trying to say hey, I'm not associated with that. Oh, the OSA management company real estate company. The OSA has nothing to do with Jeffrey and all his shady dealings. So, anyways, that was pretty interesting to me. So, a couple artists in there who talked with him, but don't remember their interactions, and just sketchiness abounds. So, all this to say, yes, there's going to be more and more coming out in the art realm, as well as just in the news in general. I mean, this guy, you're already seeing many celebrities fleeing the country right now because of the heat that they're getting, or that they anticipate. You know, the heat hasn't even come yet they anticipate it getting bad. So expect more of that. And if you were worried about why can't I come up in the art realm? Why is it so hard for me as an artist to get it, to become like Marina Abramovic, right? And her spirit cooking buddies in the Democratic Party, making all this money, getting all the connections, all the art shows. They get to be the kingmakers who allow artists into these galleries and museums and institutions. So if you're not playing the game, if you're not saying the right things, if you're not parroting the woke agenda, then say goodbye to that art career. I mean, unless you have like, you have to be beyond amazing. You also have to be like exceedingly bombastic and somehow break through all the noise of the world. And there's so much going on right now. It's pretty impossible. I'm not going to say impossible. Nearly impossible. It's very hard. We'll just put it that way. But man, to end on a note, I just want to say maybe you don't want these people as bad as you think. Yes, you want to succeed. Yes, you want the glory, and you may very well deserve it. But if you're not getting it, just know these are the people guiding the doors, guarding the gates, right? These are the kind of people who won't let you in. And this is why. Because it's there's like initiation rituals that you have to partake in, and you're not willing to do that. You're not willing to sell your soul to the devil or to whatever evil spirit or entity or energy you want to give that name. You're above that, and you have greater sovereignty in your soul than to submit. And so you may not become rich and famous like some of these others who were willing to wage it all. But I think there is a life worth living in being authentic and not selling out. I mean, I guess if you're authentically giving your soul to the devil, then by all means do that. But I'm not. I've always I like the idea of doing the right thing. So it actually brings a little bit of clarity to me in life. Like, okay, so it really is true. You know, like the world is run by a bunch of elite pedos, and they like artists who reflect their values, and they like to display that kind of stuff in their homes. And so people buy the things that they resonate with. So my art doesn't resonate with with those kind of people, and I'm okay with that. And if your art doesn't resonate with child sex trafficking pedos and elites of that sort who like to torture and kill and eat children and things like that, then hey, you know what? It's okay. All right? That's okay. We're going to build our own parallel economy. We're building it, and there's actually decent people who collect art, and we don't have to get into all that. We don't have to sell our soul, and we don't have to become weird, evil witches and warlocks casting spells to gain more sales, which is what some of the local gallery in Houston, at least one, I know they do that because they bragged to me about it. They told me about it. I guess they thought I was into it. People always make the assumption that I'm hard left, and they make the mistake of telling me stupid things like how they're, breaking out their Ouija boards or whatever, and they're doing these ceremonies in the gallery to conjure spirits to garner this this energy. And it's creepy. It's really creepy. They don't talk about it in their own, in their artist talks and their gallery talks when they go on the local radio. They don't talk about that part. Just like all of these collectors at the very top here that we mentioned, they didn't really like to talk about the other thing, right? So just keep that in mind, all right? You're better than that. And we need to reach out to each other. People of like minds need to continue connecting. So that's the purpose of these videos that I create, is because I want to find more people who think like me. I want to build a community of artists and collectors and just people who are interested in art to come together on something that isn't corrupted by the mainstream. So if that resonates with you, then please like and subscribe. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought was most interesting about this news article. And we'll be back with more very soon. I hope you will join me. So have a great rest of your day. Be blessed. Best of energies. And keep creating worlds. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed, please hit like and subscribe if you haven't yet. Also, if you want to support me as a content creator, as a artist, as a creator of culture, what art has always been throughout history, then if you think my voice has value, if you value free-thinking artists who push themselves to the limits, then please head on to patreon.com/VincentFink. You can start at the price of a cup of coffee per month and will far exceed the monetary value of your investment with art gifts. So please check it out. And thank you very much for watching today, and we'll see you in the next vid.